What a brilliant character. You know, I thought it's got to be it's got to be an act, isn't it? You know, like Tom Waits always said about you know, as a performer, it's a ventriloquist act. You know, it's all a shield. You know, you wouldn't dare reveal your true self to the audience. Exactly the fucking same. You know, he's the real deal.
You get a lot of musicians, a lot of multi-instrumentalists who just, not a jack of all trades, master none, but maybe they won't have the feel, they won't see how the bigger picture is, because production's all about, you know, maybe not playing on a certain point so the melody can come out in a different way.
He can play the bass, guitar, the horns.
I just saw him as an incredible punk rock player, you know, amazing frontman.
Me and Ash go way back. He's a brother from another mother, and I call him God. Let's have a look. One minute. See?
He can sing, the drums. I don't know if there's anything he can't do.
We're from the same town, so we've always known and followed each other's progress and stuff.
He's got the most amazing energy. He's a beautiful person, so much like zest for his entertainment, and he doesn't stop. In fact, I don't even think he sleeps. He just carries on.
How much do I hear for this? Cut!
My first pro gig was with a guy called Edwin Starr, who was a big Motown legend, and I got the gig with him when I was like 14, 15. I was pretty young. I played with Exhibit. I've done DJ sets with will.i.am and Nicola Roberts from Girls Aloud. It's quite a few. The Twang. But the most important is Dead Sea Schools. Yeah, Dead Sea Schools that's my thing really. It's like it allows me to be me, a stand-up, showing off, singing, drumming frontman. Do you know what I mean? You know, it allows me to do that, and I love it. And I write the tunes with Jimmy and Nick.
Yeah, I've known Ash pretty much all my adult life really. He's been in bands, I've been in bands with my brother.
And we do what we want in the band. We don't tell each other what to do. We do our own thing and we bring it all together. And it's just complete, you know, it's a complete outlet for each of us to be able to be who we want to be. And you know, that's the reason why it sounds so good, is because it's our three individual styles, you know, all formed together, which makes one massive, huge sound.
And then our band split up, and we bumped into Ash at a gig in Wolverhampton. I think it was a Wild Arts gig. And we put the band together, Dead Sea Schools, that night, and got in a rehearsal room, which is this place here, JJM Studios in Walsall.
So yeah, that's my passion, Dead Sea Schools. And I session and I play for different people, and I forget who I play for. Plus I don't want to give them any free advertising. This film's about me, right?
I was living down south. I came up to Walsall for the weekend. I asked a friend of mine, I said, what bands are, you know, is there any live music going on. He said, yeah, there's a friend, and well, this guy I kind of know. He's in a band called the Black and Reds. They're a two-piece. Go and see them. I went in there. The place was rammed. First laid eyes on Ash. I thought, fuck, you know, the guy looks like Tom Waits, and the sheer the violence of his playing, and the kind of, you know, and the showmanship, and I was just really blown away by him. And he started asking people, like, who is this guy? What's he all about? And I said, oh, this guy's this virtuoso pikey, and then, you know, oh, bloody hell, and then he's got this, you know, this strange travelling circus background. You're like, what?
I've been playing drums since I was 18 months old. As my mother tells me, she bought me a small mudbit kit when I was a kid, and I progressed on. I used to have, you know, penny whistles. I ended up getting the trumpet when I was 7. And guitar, you know, a little bit later on. And well, there was always a guitar around the house. There's always musical instruments around the house, like an organ. Stuff like that. And my grandfather used to play spoons and the mouth organ. But my family, you know, I come from travelling fairground and circus people. You know, my mother was a trapeze artist, my grandfather was a strongman in the circus. So entertainments and being able to put on a show and just having that creative kind of element, you know, was always around in my family. You know. And with the support of my mother, you know, inspiring me to do whatever I want to do and be the best that you can be at whatever you do. Always egged me on, do you know what I mean, to be a great drummer, a great musician, you know, just be an artistic kind of guy, you know. Maybe you should interview my mum. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, right. Oh, Ashley was a fan.
He was a very, very good lad, very well behaved, but all his interest was in, from 18 months old, was music, nothing else. Never wanted to play on the street with anybody, was a little bit reserved in that manner. Very careful who he mixed with, and if they wasn't into music, he didn't want to know. Done his first gig at 7 for a group of old age pensioners on Dudley Fields. When he was 11, he was playing upstairs, so mad all the time that I got onto WABC radio and I spoke to Mr. Ed Doolan, and he got me a studio in Warsaw called the Practice Pad. Then when we went to the Practice Pad, Glyn Hughes came in. He was playing at the Robin 2 or the Robin 1, and he was only so small, playing on the drums. And he came in the room and he pointed, Glyn Hughes, and he said, I want you to play at the Robin with me tonight. There was a queue for him at times. He could play anything you put in front of him, from a spoon to a dustbin. Absolutely fantastic. I couldn't believe the talent that I produced, to be fair. I know we were talented and we originated from show people.
Hearing stories about when they were out on the road in the barrel top caravans and performing in the front of churches on a Sunday morning, and my grandfather spieling me out with a hat. And
my father was a strong man. He was in a circus.
He'd lie on a bed of nails,
and 6 men would come and stand on his chest again.
Put a breeze block on his chest and get someone out of the audience to get a big hammer, smash the breeze block, you know.
And then he could crack a whip and he could take a cigarette out of your mouth without you even knowing it. Very, very strong, very, very bright, intelligent man. But he is the top of us all, because it's another generation, isn't it? So, you know, that's the way it goes.
I'm a drummer, really. That's my passion, that's what I do. My uncle, he taught me how to play my first rhythm when I was about 7. I remember, straight groove, rock and pop rhythm, and a swing rhythm. And he taught me that. And yeah, and I never looked back since then. I love drums. I consider myself a drummer, but I am a multi-instrumentalist musician, and I do play a lot of instruments. I play them well, even if I do say so myself, because I love music and I love expression, and and art in general. Just communication between people. Music is a real good form of communication. I can pick up a guitar and I can communicate with you, or let you know how I'm feeling through the sound of what I'm making. So, I love that as well. So it crosses any boundaries and borders. I can play a tune in England and it can go down well in France, Germany, Japan, LA. It's the universal language, isn't it? Speaking the universal language, and that's what I do.
Listen here, yeah, I come out of here and it's the best singer, the best motherfucking drummer I've ever seen in my motherfucking life.
Yeah!
Check.
We'll pay you later. Nice one.
We have a good time. We do have a good time, don't we? Because we absolutely love what we do, and that's the passion. The passion, when you love your music and you love communicating with people through music, it's the most amazing thing you can give ever. It's just like a pleasure. I'm not sure if I met Ash through an actual gig or through falling in love with him over a video that my brother took of him, playing in my cousin's house, picking up all the pots and pans, anything he could fucking bang, in the house, including glasses, including walls, including chairs, tables, and he made an absolute legendary entertainment section of a night, just bashing everything and stopped the fucking crowd in their tracks, and it was just like, wow.
I always wanted to be on the stage, Always wanted to be on the stage. Hang on a second, who's this? Alright, Rich, I'm just getting interviewed, mate. Yeah, let me just get you on camera. I'm just talking to Rich Stone from Zante White Party, International DJ Supreme. You're alright, mate, yeah? Just bring up more gigs, more work. I love it. Fun never stops. Fun never stops. Great. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So, I've been playing music since I was a kid, and I kind of got focused from a very early age. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a musician. I've always been a kind of arrogant, loudmouth, show-off. But it's alright if you can back it up. Do you know what I mean? It's not so bad, if you've got something to give. So I've always wanted to be a performer and just thought of myself as a performer, as a musician. So I've always had focus and I knew what I wanted to do. And I think it's what I'll do till the day I die, really. Like I say, it's a lifestyle, it's not just a job. For me, it makes me who I am, it gives me my identity and what I'm all about. Getting the gig with Edwin Starr when I was a kid, I was like 14, 15, was a big turning point for me, really, because that kind of put me on a professional level. I completely blagged the gig because, I lied about my age. I said I was 18, but I wasn't, went off on tour and that, and, got in trouble at school over it. And, you got to send your kid to school and all that, sending my mum letters and stuff. But it was worth it, because it gave me a real grounding and a real, set me up, Steve Palmer is Carl Palmer's brother from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the 70s prog band. And I was taught by Steve, Carl's brother, great drum teacher that I had when I was at college as well. I was getting in with the right people and, learning from some cool guys, But that was down to my mum, really, supporting me and put me, in a position where, I could have lessons and, and even if she couldn't afford it, she'd still pay for the lessons, and I'd go and I'd rinse the teachers and I'd learn as much as I possibly could, and then go out and use it in the real world and go play shows and earn money and try and get somewhere with it. I knew what I wanted to do, and even when I was at college, I dropped out of college because I was like, I've got to get on the road, man. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be off and doing shows here, there and everywhere. And that's the way it's always been. I'm a pro musician all my life. All my working life anyway, That's what I will do to the day that I die. 110%. I got quite a lot of tattoos. Well, I'm sitting in a tattoo shop right now. It's my mate's tattoo shop, you know. Yeah, and I get tattooed here quite regularly, you know. Still got a bit of space. Now, every one of my tattoos has a meaning. For me, there's no point getting tattooed unless I've got a meaning or a reason to get tattooed, you know. Not just for a look or a fashion thing. Obviously, it is for an identity thing and for an image thing, you know. And well, it used to be a little bit of a rebellious thing, but nowadays so many people are getting tattoos, it's just like accepted like the norm, do you know what I mean? But each one's got a different meaning. The first one I got was this star here, because my mum used to call me her little star, and she was like, if you ever get a tattoo, you'll never get a real job. So the first tattoo I got was that star in a visible place to make sure I could never get a real job. That's the truth. That's the truth. I've got one here on my leg, a portrait of me and my mum, which is quite special. There's a picture of my wife. That whole hand's dedicated to my wife, to be honest with you. Like the numbers, I did them myself with a needle and thread, with Indian ink and a needle. So the numbers represent me and my wife. The initials represent me and my wife. The love on my fingertips, that's on me and my wife. That's my wife's initials because she's under the thumb. Sorry, love. Yeah, I did the little stick man myself with needle and thread. Stick man, drummer. You get it? Grandmaster Ash in the club. I got a fortune teller. My grandmother used to be a fortune teller. 7 butterflies to embrace change and excitement. 12 roses for romance. What else have I got? That's my grandfather's army numbers. Told me a story before he died, that when he was in the army briefly, he got kicked out of the army. And when he was dying, I had that tattooed, and I showed him before he passed away, and he was like, "You're crazy." I was like, "Yeah, but at least he's always going to be there." And now we're having a conversation about him, so he's always there in memory. So for me, it was well worth it. So yeah, a lot of my tattoos I can put down to the memory of my grandfather. I've got strong written across my stomach. I've got an Irish cladder. I've got gypsy on my shoulder. Irish blood, English heart on this shoulder. I've got one love written here for my wife. I got Mercedes on my leg, which was done by Sophie here at Erie Ink, which is an amazing piece. I got this one done here, a showgirl, to represent my time in London and working with some of the best circus and carny folk in the world, you know what I mean, from the West End. I had the skull and cross sticks, which is kind of my logo, and that means that I play drums to the day I die, forever. Dedication to the cause, you know, always on hand. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of stories written all over me. I feel like it gives me a little bit of identity, and it's a reminder. I'll be on tour or whatever, I'll be sitting in a hotel room and I'll be looking at them and I'll be thinking back to times long gone. I've been teaching since I was 15. I started teaching before I left school just because I thought I don't want to get a part-time job and there's no point, you know. I've got enough skill to be able to pass this on to other people. I don't teach as much as I used to, but I will always teach and I'll always pass on the skills, and it'll always be a tradition thing for me, you know, where it's, you know, keeping the tradition of real drums, real music alive, you know. And I've taught quite a few people, you know, some great players actually, some great players. And yeah, hopefully they're having as much fun as I'm having. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, passing on these skills so we can keep a scene alive, keep the tradition alive. I've been asked to do a few other things, you know, a bit of acting. I'm in a Disney commercial for Disneyland Paris. Got asked to do that. But the way I look at that is that, you know, I'm a performer. So even though I'm dedicated to music and that's what I do and that's what I really want to do, you know, I can act because I'm a performer. You know, and create a vibe, create expression, situation, a scenario, you know. I like to think I'm a creative person, you know. I can turn my hand to most things. But I'm a musician through and through. That's what I do, that's my thing. And a travelling musician at that. I like to travel, you know. It's in the blood. I live by the motto, smash it. Whatever you do, yeah? like constantly on my Facebook. That's what it is, smash it, smash it, smash it. And the meaning behind that is do the best you can, you know, and don't settle for anything less. Take things to extreme, you know, be the best you can be, all the time, you know, keep going till you can't go any further. And stay awake till you can't stay awake any longer, you know what I mean? Just rinse everything, you know, smash it. That's what I live by, yeah.
I first met Ash when I was about 19. I was a singer in a band and he was the drummer. He used to swan on in. And I like most things when I was 19, didn't last very long. But yeah, he was always he was a bit mental even then. He was always on the scene and friends of friends and stuff. I used to say hello to him when I just used to see him around. But didn't really work with him again until last December time. Oi, keep the noise down, will ya? Come on, behave yourself.
One more, listen to take.
Oh, hi. And then they came into the Dead Sea Skull stuff. In fact, I bumped into him in Guernsey because I'm in a band as well, and we were over in Guernsey doing a show, and there's a big festival in Guernsey, and they were playing. So all the guys in my band, I said we're all Brummies, we all knew each other, but so it's like, call out came from the guys. Can you come backstage? The Dead Sea Skulls want to see you. So I went and saw them all, and I said I saw them live, and it blew me away. And I'd done the sound for them at the Vic in town, and then it was just like, can you? Just come and do a track. I'd love you to do a live track, which he brilliantly recorded. And then when we came to mix it, Ash had cute ears, very much so, and he knew what he wanted, and he loved what I was doing. So we got chatting, and he's like, I've got a few tunes. I said, well, why don't you come and record them properly?
Nowadays, I'm mainly in Park Studios because I've got a production team with me and Alastair. We've been writing songs for different clients and adverts and for different websites, and just doing music production, which gives me an outlet to play, because I play so many different styles of music rather than getting like into a jazz band or a funk band, a Latin band. It's for me better to go to a studio and make those tracks. I've got my own little studio which has just got it's got a ton of musical instruments in there, and I record up there, just little demos. For which I then take into, a proper studio, and just I've got my own lockup just so I can kind of have my own little space when I go and play drums for a few hours, or go and write, or just get out of the way and just lock myself away for a little bit. I can, it's a little bit of a retreat. I always like to have my own little kind of musical hideaway, have somewhere where I can go and do my thing, But generally 9 times out of 10 I'm out on the road. I'm working in studios, I'm doing sessions, I'm doing my own thing, we're at Dead Sea Skulls, I'm doing Grandmaster Ash, I'm playing with the twang, as well as doing a ton of other stuff as well, so there's always things going on, Real music and real musicians, I think, will always be there, and there'll always be a need for it. And as long as people want to have a good time and have a party, and as long as there's a show to be played, I'll always have a job. It's a passion, it's a lifestyle, It's not just get up in the morning, clock in, clock out at 5 o'clock. It's like you live it, you breathe it, eat, sleep, drink, play. I love it, passionate, that's what I do. There's nothing else that I want to do apart from play music. That's the way it is. Yeah?
Perfect.
Just needs one
Yeah.
note moving, that's what it needs.
Just at the end, there's the credits.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Dirty old town, Warsaw.